welcome to episode 161 of
The Eldritch
Podblast. I am Margaret.
I'm Jack.
And hello. Hey, you didn't see that.
You didn't see Margaret. Did forget the number again.
You didn't see any of that.
Look into my eyes. Around my eyes.
Entity flashbang them. Get flashbang.
Get flashbang.
Hi, 161.
Oh my goodness.
What on earth? I don't even remember getting into 160.
Yeah, last week.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That shocked me.
Oh, yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell the way that you stuttered on the number.
Wow, 161. Jeez.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome in.
Back. Welcome in. Welcome back. Who are you?
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Already? You better have already made your mind up whether you like this podcast or not.
Yeah. In this very moment.
In the, what, minute and 30 seconds we've been live?
Yeah. You must know.
You better have hit the like button, man.
Right? Hi, how are you doing? I hope you have had a wonderful week. Happy Monday.
Yes.
How are you?
Happy beginning of your week.
Happy beginning of your week.
Everyone's favourite day.
Yeah,
because the podcast
notoriously.
comes out. Yeah. Like going back to work after the weekend,
Yeah.
but podcast coming out.
Yeah.
It trumps the fact that you went back to work.
Yeah, I'm sure it
100%.
does. Yeah, absolutely.
For
I'm
everyone.
sure it does.
Everyone in the world.
Yes, I'm certain.
100%.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I've got a trapped nerve in my shoulder.
Yeah, you do.
And do you want to know, it's not even really hurting anymore. And do you want to know, this morning, I woke up and I was like, it feels like it's gone. This is great. And then I went and picked up all that shopping.
Yeah.
And I think I've just stressed it again.
Yeah.
And I think I need to, because yesterday we had a day off.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, because I didn't do anything like at all,
Yeah.
apart from, answer a few emails and play Valorant.
Yeah.
It felt way better. And then
Yeah.
I've just upset it again, I can tell.
Yeah. Well, we've been putting like a deep heat type thing
like a
on.
deep heat, like hemp cream.
Yeah.
Heats it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely it's feeling better,
Mm.
but I can just still feel it. I can feel it right now.
We should get you like a heat pad.
I know. I think I'm actually. I thought it was gonna have gone by now, but obviously it hasn't.
See, Jack does this thing where we're like, oh, here's this thing that will really aid you.
Yeah.
How about we get it? And he's like, spend money
On me?
No. He's
No,
like,
no.
no. I'll see if this works. It's fine.
We couldn't possibly.
And then we get a week down the line, and it's like, man, we should have just bought you this
Yeah,
thing.
we probably should have. Hey.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
Look, in hindsight, we probably should have.
I'm sure we can just get like a I don't know, something
Like you can just get those like
sticky pads, right?
No, like those fabric things that you just heat up with like
rice in them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something's
yeah.
reusable.
Yeah.
Instead of just buying like a one-use thing.
One of those sticky things. Yeah. If anyone has any suggestions, I would like to think by the time you see this, we've already tried to sort this out. But if we haven't, you have any suggestions,
we've been trying to sort it out. And the thing is, it's not even really like massively painful.
yeah,
It just like I can feel it like down my arm.
yeah.
And
That's
it's not even that it hurts my arm. Oh, the wind's just pulling the blind.
Oh,
It's not even that it hurts my arm. I can just like feel like a little bit of like fuzziness in my fingers.
yeah.
Like now
I
and
don't
then.
like that. Anything like that makes me feel really weird.
Yeah, and like now and then I can feel it like onto my chest. It doesn't really hurt my chest at all now, but now it's like going up the back of my neck.
Yeah.
I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I probably shouldn't have gone and got that shopping, but
Such as life.
needed a weekly shop. You know what I mean?
Such as life.
I needed to go and pick up the food for the week.
Yeah. Well, apart from that, are you all right?
Apart from that, delightful.
Good. Wonderful.
Like unbelievable. Can't wait for the War Within. Been playing loads of Valorant.
Yeah.
What about
I'm good. I had a really bad sleep last night.
you? Yeah, you didn't have a great sleep, did you?
Our dog, listen, you all know him, you all love him.
The Bub and Bean.
The beast within. Just a horrible sleep. You know what? The past few nights have been horrible sleep because of the dog. And
Last night
that's life.
It was just in the bed and he just couldn't settle. So he was just up and down and throwing. And the thing is, when he lays down, he likes to like throw himself.
Yeah.
And when it's like you're in the middle of you're in a dream. You're having a dream.
Oh my God! Point of
You're
view.
asleep. You're having a dream, and suddenly something throws itself at your legs violently in the middle of the night. It turns out it's just the dog.
Yeah.
But he wakes me up so many times.
Yeah. And he likes to be under a blanket, so there was a lot of crying, and I
and
kept
he needed a poop.
Yeah.
It's like we take him downstairs before we go up. Every night, like we go downstairs, let him out, make sure he's had a drink, like have a wee, have a poo, just make sure you're okay. We go upstairs. 2 hours later, he's like, right, well, I need to go to the toilet. And I was just like,
yeah.
I mean, that's just getting old, I guess.
It is. That is just getting old, and that we're aware of that. But oh gosh, oh goodness, he's been an absolute little demon.
But,
and I kept doing this thing where, when you're asleep and you wake up like with not just shock, but you wake up panicking.
Yeah.
Like something's happened in your dream and your heart's going really fast and you're sweating. I kept doing that last night because I kept thinking people were after me. And
who did you say?
I did it 3 times.
Yeah, 2 of them were.
One of them was Killjoy from Valorant. I don't know what it was, but I woke
the yellow
up
puffer jacket
and I was
for
like, Killjoy. And I was freaked out. I went back to sleep. I did it again. And it was a character from Neopets called Balthazar, who was a loop, who woke me up and I was scared. I did it a 3rd time and I don't remember who. But when the dog was crying to go out,
yeah,
I was having some weird dream and it wasn't quite the dog. And I woke you up and I was like, the wizard.
See, I don't remember this one.
I was like, the wizard. And I was like,
no, not the wizard, the dog.
I was like, no, the dog.
The wizard. The wizard.
So, yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
All of that to say, hey, I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit
That's
eepy bo
okay, that's
peepy,
okay.
to be honest with you.
That's okay. We're just
But
sitting
I'm
around,
alright.
hanging out, having a chat.
Yeah, just hanging around.
Just hanging
around. Yeah, we've booked some time off
Oh my goodness
for
gracious me.
War Within release.
Yeah.
And like kind of when the Mythic Dungeon Pool comes up. We realized we haven't had a proper like week off in a while now.
Yeah, we don't really take much time off. We never have done.
Yeah.
As people, like I was never that Flash.
Yeah.
I never really took time off when I was at work.
I did. I did.
Yeah, for me, like I'm never like, oh man, I need some time off.
Yeah.
But then I'll take some time off and I
Be
was
like, man, I
that
needed
was so
that.
good.
Yeah.
It's not even that I needed that. I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah. See, I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I need time off.
Yeah, and
I
that's
get
so
burnt
fair.
out really easily. And yeah, just needing some time off. And you know what? Since we started streaming in January, we've taken like maybe a couple of streams off here and there, but never a solid amount of time off. And it's a scary thought.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we don't really see the
streamers
like,
work.
Not that we see like this as work, but it's like we just get on stream and talk about food.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel.
It doesn't feel like work.
But it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do love streaming.
You know what? I love stream. It's just the blocking out the time.
That's it.
It's like anything, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just the blocking out the time, and we love World of Warcraft, and
live, laugh, love for it.
a new expansion's coming out, and we really want to be able to just take some time off and
knuckle
properly
down and
enjoy it,
give it the time it deserves.
like spend some proper decent time with our like UK friends as well, because the thing is with our schedules we don't really spend that much time with our British friends, like outside of like D&D and seeing them IRL. Like our online British friends, we rarely ever see.
Yeah, we spend most of the time with our American friends.
Yeah, because that's just how our schedule aligns up.
So we're gonna take off some time. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
but at some
we'll
point,
let you know. We'll let you know at some point.
You will have a week with no video.
Yes, yeah. You'll have a week no videos. You'll have a week with no streams. We will write them down.
We'll let you know.
And
at
let
some
you
point.
know. But we'll
when we
announce
get
it.
closer to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's still like over a month away, I think.
Yeah. We'll announce it in. I'll announce it everywhere, like on Discord and announcements and stuff like that.
I have an announcement.
Yeah, an announcement. Anything else?
Not really.
I don't think it is over a month away, you know.
Maybe it's about 3 weeks away.
Because this video goes out, on the 19th? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
It's probably about close to a month.
It's about a week away, isn't it? 19th? Because we're taking off. Oh, no. You're not going to... Nothing changes for you.
Nothing changes for them.
Yeah. There's some time off coming soonish.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of like when the launch comes out, we're taking like a day off like Etsy work and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that doesn't concern you.
That doesn't concern anyone apart from you and I.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nah, not really.
Not really. Yeah. I learned some Oasis lore. Hey, turns out I've never listened to Oasis before.
Well,
I've heard the songs. But
I put a bit of Oasis song down in the kitchen, and you knew every word to every song.
You know what? I have never gone out of my way to listen. I've never listened to them on my own volition. Every time I've heard Oasis, it's been against my will.
Yeah. Against my will.
It's been against my will. Yeah, but and you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind the songs.
Yeah.
I think I've grown I used to hate stuff like that when I was younger.
I mean, they're one of the biggest rock bands in the world for a reason.
yeah.
Can you call them rock? I think you can call them rock. I think they are rock.
They're more like British rock, though.
Brit
like
rock,
yeah. Brit rock.
90s Brit rock.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I'm late to that train, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we listened to some Oasis downstairs.
Yeah.
My parents quite liked Oasis, so I then,
Yeah.
like by proxy, liked
Yeah.
Oasis, and I know
Yeah.
a lot of Oasis songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's about it. I got into bronze 3. No, I got into silver 3.
Silver 3, one off gold.
I
in Valorant.
got into my new peak in
Your
Valorant.
peak?
Hey, I'm not in it anymore.
Hey, yeah,
Don't
we
want
lost
to
a
talk
couple of
about
games.
that.
Last night, it's tough when you get up into gold. Like I've been in gold for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of platinum lobbies and stuff like that, and and that's where I am at.
Yeah.
Like high end gold, low end platinum.
Yeah. I am not.
And all of my friends who I'm playing with are like getting into gold lobbies for the first time. That's
Yeah.
sort of where we are. Like
Yeah.
we're in
Yeah.
gold
I
lobbies.
I think I belong in silver 3 right now. I think silver 3 is probably where I belong right now.
So that's the issue, though.
Yeah.
The game is giving us gold lobbies.
Yeah.
And I think last night we won 2, lost 4,
Yeah.
and we got kind of diffed.
We got annihilated. Yeah.
Like it was like
we put up a good fight.
we put up
though.
a good
We put up
fight.
a good fight, but we did get
fight.
annihilated.
I was most of the time only the person with the posi KD,
yeah.
and you guys will get there. I
Yeah.
can see it. Like
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
are good enough to get there.
Oh, definitely.
But it's just like this is where the enemy team now becomes intelligent.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
they're-
no.
It's not just like everyone's just running around shooting. They're going like people are like playing off the util and working together.
God.
And
no.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is where it gets tough.
No, I only want to go against people with no brain.
Yeah.
Oh, me just become a smurf in iron lobbies.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I reached my new peak.
Yeah. Silver 3.
Let's see if I can get to gold
I think
in
you can.
this battle pass. I
I
doubt
think
it.
you can.
2 weeks. Doubt
You
it.
doubt it?
Yeah.
I think you can. I reckon we'll get you back into Silver 3 tonight.
Oh, silver
Couple
3.
of dubbies.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get
And-
into gold this season though.
No, why not?
2 weeks.
I remember the first time I got into gold, I did it on the last day of the battle pass.
Yeah.
I was like, I got into gold, and then I was just like, well, tomorrow I'll do my placement games again. They'll put
Yeah.
me back in silver.
Yeah, you know what? I just really hope the next placement games, if I can just be put into silver 1, I would really enjoy that because I got put in bronze 2
Yeah,
and I
no.
had to climb from bronze 2 to silver 3,
To be
which
fair,
takes a really long time.
If you play the day, like, so you play on the last day of the season, then you play the day after, I think there's more of a chance that you'll get put sort of just straight back into.
Yeah, I don't even want to be put back straight back into it. I just want to stay in silver.
Yeah.
I would really like that. Hey, I'm bad at the game.
No,
And
you're
what?
not. No, you're not.
A silver player complaining about how hard the game is.
Nah, you're not bad.
Oh, thank you. I'm repping my Sage t-shirt
Yeah,
today.
new man, who dis?
New main, who dis? Phoenix,
Dead to me?
dead in the balls
Yeah.
pocket.
Dead in the balls pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
That's about it. Anything else I can think to waffle on for?
Nope. Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
Like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams.
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
Well, as you can see from today's title, I need to stop saying that. I'm sorry. I know you can't see. I know that's something
The
that you're not
entity
keeping.
has your eyes.
We are doing some D&D horror and wholesome stories. These are all submissions, and we start with a horror, we alternate, and then we always end on a wholesome. Thank you so much for these stories. If you have a D&D horror or a wholesome story or anything else in between you would like to send in, please check the link in the description. Our submission form is down below.
Yeah, check out our merch, www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Patrons get 10% off. Check out our Patreon, 3-tiered Patreon, down in the description. It's a great way to help us. Come join us on Twitch on Friday, Sunday, and every other Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit the bell.
All right, this first one has been sent in by Anonymous, please.
Anonymous, please.
And he uses he, him pronouns.
Thank you very much, Anonymous.
My first D&D campaign I played in was made of a group of all players who were very new to D&D and a DM who was new to DMing, or at least DMing 5e, and things were going great until we added a new player into the campaign about halfway through. We will call him L. L was just supposed to be there for one session, so it wasn't the biggest deal that he basically made a carbon copy of one of our already existing PCs, K, and immediately started stepping on toes both in and out of combat. He was also new to the game, so it just kind of seemed like a way more annoying version of that big Spider-Man, little Spider-Man meme. The way that L followed around K and did everything he did, talking over him all the while. But after that session, the DM invited him to keep playing with us, and stepping on toes would not be contained to just one character. He had to do everything. I played a rogue, and suddenly it wasn't enough for me to be the one sneaking ahead and scouting out things. He had to do it instead. He couldn't just leave the high charisma characters to do the talking. He had to try and do it too. And he had to be the one to do it first. It was like he was trying to win D&D and we, the party, were his competition. I think the worst of it all was that he decided that his character trope was that he was just a noble guy who did everything for his buddies. And that included talking for them. So, since me and my partner's characters were his bestest friends in the campaign, we suddenly just lost the ability to talk in character or out of character. He would just constantly talk over all of us. Another player would talk to us to ask our opinion. He would answer for us. We would be planning on how to take care of an encounter. We would say something and he would interrupt us to say it again, but louder, and get the credit for it.
Jesus.
We would try to mention something out of character. Uh-oh, L needs attention. Speaking of attention, this dog is coming in. This dog's coming in hot, by the way. Did you hear? Oh, gosh.
Did you hear attention?
Oh,
big stretchy
gosh.
man. What a big stretchy man.
Oh, did you hear the word attention and you came in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Very good.
Oh. Uh-oh, L needs attention, and so does Bully. There was one time we had a planned inter-party conflict moment between my partner and I's character and another PC. We will call them F. This was something we had planned with F from the beginning of the campaign, and we had been so excited to see it turn to a head. But when it finally happened, my partner barely got a word in, and I didn't even get to say a single thing before L pushed his way in and started screaming at and threatening F for us. Something that was going to be about learning and growing from the circumstances of how one grew up and learning to trust the people you have come to travel with turned into, don't worry, White Savior Dragonborn has come to save the day. I could tell the other players were also annoyed by this guy, but didn't want to start any conflict out of character, especially since it seemed like the DM loved this guy. And the DM definitely didn't say anything to ever stop him. Towards the end of the campaign, it got so bad that my partner and I would just mute our mic until it was our turn in combat, or people talked directly to us and then actually said something when we didn't respond. During the final session, I think I had my mic muted for a solid 2 hours straight before I had to unmute it for a turn in combat just to immediately mute it again.
Sadness.
Man, what an absolute mess.
And the thing is, I get when you come into an established campaign as a guest PC.
Yeah.
Like, you do... in my opinion, it goes one of two ways. It goes like... There's obviously a really established party dynamic.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you do sit quite quietly.
Yeah.
And it is tough to like insert yourself into that.
It is,
and it's
definitely.
great when the other PCs like involve you and get you, because that sort of breaks it open.
Yeah.
And you become like a member of the party, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you go the other way and you sort of like, you do try and be confident. You do try and insert yourself.
Yeah.
But then there's just going too far.
Yeah. I think there's also a middle ground where thankfully the existing party
understand.
They know it's a one-time thing,
well,
so they try to. Well, they thought it was, and they try to actually highlight and lift up this one person.
Yeah.
And I think that's when that's when you get the best dynamic for guests.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Is when everyone is aware that it's a one-time thing, and you all play into this, and you all maybe kind of forsake a little bit of you suspend your disbelief a little bit,
Yeah.
and you allow that player to have the moment,
Mhm.
right? So I understand that for a one shot, not for a guest.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, as well, like you should never, as a dungeon master, ever just invite somebody to the game without telling
No,
everyone else.
100%.
Everyone should be, if someone's just coming in for a guest spot, it's like, oh, hey, I'm just inviting my friend in for a one-time thing. It's just like, you don't have to run that by everybody. Oh, don't get your foot caught, bully. You don't have to run that by everybody. It's probably still better to do so, because if it's just a one-time thing, it's just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
But then if it's going to turn into a permanent thing, like Wabs, like my friend who's coming to our campaign, I let everybody know that him and Courtney were coming in, and then Jack was going to be staying for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I went round to everyone. I was just like,
individually,
is it okay
if,
and everyone was like, yeah, he's been great and stuff like that, and I've really enjoyed having him around. And I was just like, hey, Jack, do you want to continue playing for a bit?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that sounds great. It's like, he's not even a permanent fixture, but he's someone who's coming like for a certain amount of time.
Arc, yeah.
And I still wanted to just let everyone know.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what, man, like, it's so frustrating. I hear, everyone else was annoyed by this person and they didn't want to start any conflict. Look, it's this person who's being the nightmare,
I know,
not
yeah.
you.
Like,
You're not and again, there is something to be said about if nothing is said to this person.
How do they know?
They're probably going to continue to act like this and piss off everyone around them till the end of time.
And like we always say, like Margaret always says,
oh yes,
conversation is not confrontation.
Yeah.
Like letting this person know that they're stepping on people's toes, that they're talking for people, which is all bad. Stepping on people's toes in combat, and if you're coming in, like I don't mind that as much, because they maybe didn't know you were playing a fighter and now they're a fighter. But like the whole like talking for people.
God. And the whole thing of like the organized setup into party conflict, and then this person just coming in and screaming and threatening. Oh my God, that makes me cringe from the inside out.
All like coveted, something that you've all been excited for since the beginning of the campaign. Like I can't wait. Like we had that between you and Josh.
Yeah.
And it was like something that maybe was never going to come to, but you were like, man, if it does come to, like the role player is going to be sick, and it is going to be a little bit inter-party conflict.
Yeah.
Like, and imagine if that thing between these two people just gets decimated by somebody who doesn't really understand the situation and is just inserting themselves into it.
I know. And oh my God. Please let this horrible story from Anonymous be a warning. Anyone who's experiencing this right now, who's watching this, who is like, you have someone like Elle at your table, and they're ruining the time for everyone. I can't imagine how devastating it must be in your final session to be so defeated, you just mute up the whole session.
Just do something. Just like, you should be enjoying your time.
Yeah, why do we play D&D?
To
have fun.
To have fun.
It's a game. You play games to have fun.
Yeah, 100%.
And if your time, because your time's finite, by the way, like whether you're in school, whether you're working, like your time is finite, and you shouldn't be wasting your time because of one person. Please let this heed as a warning. If there is someone like this, conversation is not confrontation. They sound incredibly fucking annoying, but maybe they just aren't aware how it's impacting the people around them. And
if you don't tell them, how can they do anything about it?
Yeah, you can't expect something to change without something being said. Don't let yourself be the doormat. Don't let this person walk over your good time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
ruining your weekly D&D fun.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
And all this would take is, honestly, in my opinion, a conversation of being like, hey, Elle, like,
stop it.
Yeah, hey, we know you're enjoying the game, and it's obvious that you are. I don't know if this is intentional, but you do X, Y, Z. You talk over us. You interjected here. You stepped on our toes, and it's becoming really difficult for us to deal with. And we're having this conversation with you because we don't want to have a fight about it. So, like, is there a conclusion that we can all come to now where, if you're not aware you're doing it, is there something we can say? Is there a signal we can give you?
To say that you're doing it.
And you know what? Once you open that line of communication, if Elle came back and was like, I'm so sorry, I had no idea, and tried, then that's better than it continuing as it was.
Yeah, 100%.
And if Elle comes back and is like, well, fuck you, then you have your answer.
Then you kick him. But I think the biggest problem here is the Dungeon Masters invited them without anybody else's thingy, without anybody else's like acceptance, and then they don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, and the DM hasn't done anything to stop it.
And the DM also might not see it. I think that's unlikely that both of them don't see it.
Yeah.
But like, if neither of them see it and neither of them have it brought to their attention, it's just like nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're in a situation that you aren't enjoying, do something about it.
100%.
Otherwise, your good time, your D&D time, your
Yeah.
weekly TTRPG fun is gone.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
do you want to give that up? Or do you want to just say something to somebody who's acting like a fool
Yeah.
to allow them the chance to change?
Yeah.
And if they don't change, hey, kick them out of the
Yeah.
game. Hey, if it doesn't change, you leave.
And, I think people are worried about looking like the bad guy. And my question is, the bad guy to who?
Yeah,
The
to
bad
who?
guy to the person who's been pissing you off and
The-
ruining your whole
The
entire
bad
time?
guy, you look like the bad guy to the bad guy?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Who cares?
Oh, no.
Who cares?
Oh, no. And you know what? I'm going to say it. YOLO. Hey, let's bring
my
back
God.
YOLO.
Ripping a YOLO?
You
I'm ripping a
only
fat
live
YOLO.
once, my friend.
True.
And do not waste your finite time and your finite energy on doing something that doesn't bring you joy.
Agreed.
There's caveats to that, and I'm talking specifically about D&D here. We play it to have fun.
Yeah, we play it to have
play
fun.
it because we want to.
If you aren't having fun, try and do something about it.
Yeah.
Try and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Leave if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But don't just sit by and get walked all over by somebody who's joined the game against your judgment.
Yeah, yeah.
Against the fact that you didn't even want
Yeah.
them to be there.
Yeah, man. The fact that the DM just brought them in like full time.
Hey, they're coming for a one shot. Oh, sick. Hey, they're a
Hey,
full-time
they're here
member now.
without asking. Oh,
Anyone.
That's
dreadful.
That's really
Dreadful.
really bad. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Anonymous, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What
that
a
fucking
bloody
stinks.
nightmare.
That absolutely stinks.
And I'm so sorry that your final session ever was spent in misery.
In
It
misery.
sounds like.
Muted in
Yeah,
misery.
I'm sorry. What a nightmare. But thank you for your submission, and I'm glad it's over
Yes.
for you.
Jova.
All right, this next one, this has been sent in by Bookworm45, and he uses he, him pronouns. And this is a wholesome story.
Thank you, Bookworm45.
Hello, Jack and Mags, long-time listener, first-time submitter.
Hello.
Love the podcast and everything else y'all do. Really doing the entity's work out there.
Yeah, we're grinding. We've got to grind for the entity.
This story is about when one of my players really wowed me with how they spun a horrible situation into a positive.
Okay.
I hope it's not too long. It is not. So, context. I've been running my own completely homebrew campaign for about a year now with 4 other players, all level 6. A dwarf barbarian, a tabaxi rogue, a human bard, and a summer eladrin druid. All guys, he, him pronouns, and the majority of the players had little to no experience with D&D before this.
Cool.
Okay, now the actual story. My players are currently caught in a shadow war between 2 rival vampire clans and were recently given an assignment from the vampire faction that they had allied with to find and capture a vampire from the enemy clan. Sign me up.
Sounds good.
They were also given a special set of manacles that would prevent the vampire from using its shape change, misty escape, and regeneration abilities, but the vampire had to be below a quarter health for the manacles to be activated.
Love it.
This resulted in the bard being used as live bait and disguising himself as a helpless old lady while the rest of the party hid in wait.
Love it.
Eventually, the party's quarry made a showing and the combat ensued. It was very nearly a TPK with the rogue, the druid, and an NPC all being knocked unconscious and the bard actually being killed by the vampire. The barbarian managed to subdue the vampire with the manacles after a bloody street brawl and get the druid back up with a potion to save the rest of their friends. However, when the druid got to the bard, he realized he had not prepared Revivify for the day, nor had the 3rd level spell slot, but did have the rare component, which is the diamond of 300 gold pieces.
300 gold pieces, yeah.
I allowed him to cast the spell, but only at a severe cost. As part of his backstory, the druid had been imprisoned and experimented on by an evil wizard, but he managed to befriend the animals who were also captive with him, the origin of his druid powers. The cost of casting this spell would be forever losing the memories of his animal friends and permanently losing a 3rd level spell slot. The druid readily agreed and was able to successfully perform the ritual, which is another wholesome story in itself, but did lose that memory. And here is the wholesome part. I really thought this would cause a dark moment in the druid's life, having lost one of the most important things that he had, but the player put an awesome spin on it. See, the druid was a dark and reclusive individual before the sacrifice, jaded by his past, but with the reminders of some of the darkest parts gone from his world, he actually became more open and willing to trust, no longer burdened by the weight of knowing just how bad it used to be. Now, he happily draws pictures of animals in his sketchbook that are oddly familiar, but he doesn't know why. I was so proud of my player for not only making the hard sacrifice, but making the best out of an otherwise depressing situation. Thanks so much for reading this, and P.S. You should have heard what the druid said to the bard spirit to bring them back. Tears, just tears. Hey you, Bookworm 45.
Give me
it.
Give me it.
Gimme.
I want it. Write it down in the comments if you're listening to this. Write it down in the comments.
I need it.
I need to hear it. Great stuff. Just great stuff. And like, I think it could have, like, I know players who would have taken it badly. I know players who would have taken that and sort of maybe been in a bit of a huff about it, and maybe been in a bit of a mood about it, but to take it and what like defined you, and it's like a lone wolf story finally being broken because of this situation. It's like these dark things that have like laid heavy on me that has made me a bit of a recluse, and made me
you're free from it now.
You're free from it now.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know what? We had something really similar to this happen recently.
Yeah.
And like, without going into it too much, there was people who really put a lot of things on the line for the sake of something coming to fruition, that I personally know was really a big deal to the player. Not necessarily the character, but to the player it was a huge deal. And something like this happened to us, and we've all lost something. But there were people in particular who really put their shit on the line for it.
Yeah. They did. They understood the assignment. They understood like the weight of the situation, and they were trying everything. They were trying everything. And I am going to do something with it for them. I think like my mind has been changed. I don't know, like as a dungeon master, man, when people throw these things at you in the moment, it's really hard to decide the right thing to do, and sometimes you need a little bit of time. And it was right towards the end of the session. So I've been thinking about it. So when it comes to what I do for them narratively, you know, it's tough, isn't it? Because it's just, as a dungeon master, the last thing that you want to do is punish it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it has weight. Like, it has weight, so you want there to be consequence, but you also don't just want to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think as a dungeon master, if you've got that mindset of being like, I understand what you're giving up.
Yeah.
And maybe giving something like a kiss curse, like something like that, something that can be good but also could be bad.
Yeah.
Is just, if you go into it as a dungeon master with that mindset, like, you're gonna succeed.
Yeah.
And for your players to put up, man, the fact that they draw the animals in the book,
I know,
and they're like, they look familiar, but I don't know why. And it's like, to the rest of the party, they're like, it's just, I don't know, it's just great roleplay.
Yeah,
it's just great, strong. You got a great table there.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I think this is hitting hard for me because this just happened to us.
Literally just happened to us.
But you know, for your players to care about each other so much that the players at the table care so much about your character, and they care so much about you
as a person.
They want your thing to come to fruition,
I want
you. Like, whatever it is to come to fruition. To have that connection and that bond where someone will sacrifice something really important for them, for you, is a really good feeling. And you know, again, I'm speaking completely 100% from experience from Wednesday. Yeah, this touches me.
I just had a great idea.
Oh yeah,
I just had a really great idea for my D&D session. I'm really, really excited now. Is he licking himself?
Yeah.
Do you want to know what? It's really, really hard being a dungeon master who like just plans throughout the week, just like as I think of things and as I like, you know, I'll just sit there and daydream and I'll be like, I could do this. Oh, that would be really cool for this character. And then the thing is, we have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast where I think a lot of the times we pick stories. We don't just pick stories that are relevant to us, but like, you know, they hit even harder. Like, this story hits even harder because we've just been in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about it and I'm like sat here, I'm like, man, what if I did this? And I just like think about my campaign.
Yeah.
It's I do it a lot on this podcast. You'll see me go 1,000 yards there and be like, I just had a really great idea for my campaign.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, love it. And like, I think you did a great job. Like, I love when we bend the rules a little bit, but still leave it up to chance to when it comes to characters like lives. Like, yeah, they didn't have the 3rd level spell, but at the same time they had the diamond, and it's like, I'll allow you to cast it at a cost.
Yeah.
Like, we can tap into that like font of magic to attempt to bring this character back, but we have to give up something.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's just it creates massive moments in campaigns. It creates like, it shows how much each player like cares for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they're giving up casting the 3rd level spell, the memories of their like of how they became a druid to bring back this person. It's like, that person's never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
The person that did that had that done for them is never gonna forget that moment.
Yep.
I just love it, man. D&D's so good.
I feel like that kid. You know that kid who's
the interview.
Yeah. She's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." I feel like I could absolutely lose my mind crying. I feel so emotional. I think you know what? When I put this together, I didn't even think about the correlation of what just happened.
Yeah.
But
it's because it hadn't happened yet.
Gosh,
it hadn't happened.
It hadn't.
You
oh my
planned
God, it
this
hadn't.
episode on
I planned
Wednesday
it
morning,
on the day before,
and then
on the day it happened.
Wednesday night we had the session.
Goodness,
and I didn't even know
Goodness
because I don't plan the
gracious
sessions.
me. Yeah. Poor
Man.
Yeah, man.
Good
Bookworm,
stuff.
please.
Bookworm, you got to tell us what they said.
I need to know
when the spell was cast. I need to know.
I need to know.
I need to know.
Oh, thank you for the beautiful story. That really is what D&D is all about.
True.
Is people getting together who fucking care about each other and who are willing to do things for one another.
Care about each other. They get invested in each other's stories so much that they're willing to give up part of their own to bring you back.
Yeah, totally.
And I just live, laugh, love for that.
Yep,
I think it's so good.
Same. Me too. Thank you, Bookworm. What a beautiful story.
Oh man, I just had such a fucking great idea. Man, I just had such a great idea. I can't wait.
All right, this next one. Oh, this is a horror. And this has been sent in by Anonymous, and she uses she, her pronouns.
Thank you very much.
I am a relatively new player. This is really loose.
That's
isn't
right.
it?
I can tighten it for you.
Is it something that can be tightened? Oh, you did. You tightened it.
I know. Hey. Just checking my mic. I think I knocked away.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm the hardware guy. That's my job.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I am a relatively new player. I used to play in a D&D group that I wasn't the most comfortable in, so I left to create a new campaign with my closest friends in an attempt hoping to improve my experience while introducing the game to my favorite people.
Hey, and good on you. Hey, because that's tough to do.
It
and
is.
like that's exactly how I became a dungeon master. Like, not getting exactly what I wanted from D&D, so I was like, hey, I'm just going to do it myself and invite all my friends.
Yep.
So good on you.
As a newish player and a first-time DM, I opted for first-time players or those with little experience in the hope that there would be low expectations and pressure.
Mm-hmm.
However, one player, Sam, wanted to invite another mutual friend, Mel. I originally hesitated to invite Mel because I knew that they were a fan of the setting I planned on using, and I feared that they might expect way too much of me as a beginner. But eventually, I agreed. Before session 0, we were already facing some issues with Mel. Mel and Sam decided to make sibling characters, and despite a lot of communication, me and Sam struggled to get any backstory info from Mel. We continued to session 1 though, as Mel assured us that she would talk with us soon, which didn't end up happening. As we played, there was some mild issues that I began to note. Rolling without asking or without being prompted to, arguing over nat 20 results, and lying about dice roll results. There is far more to the situation, however, it all reached a peak after one incident. To add context, Mel texted me where she joked that her wild magic, if she rolled a 100, should have her character go unconscious and begin rolling death saves. I didn't like that mechanic, but as it was clearly stated to be a joke in her text tone tags, I laughed it off thinking it meant nothing. During our 13th session, Mel decided to implement this without my approval in an attempt to one-up another one-on-one deep PC conversation. She cast a spell, she failed a save, and rolled on the chart. Mel said she rolled a 100 and asked if I remembered what that meant. Of course, I was very confused, and so she proceeded to describe what happened to her character, forcing the other player as well as me to scramble to figure out the situation on the spot. I, being a new DM, felt completely and utterly powerless and confused on how to handle this, while most of the other players felt angry and upset, as Mel had brought down the mood of everyone at the table. Mel, after being asked on many separate occasions to collaborate and communicate, decided to leave.
Like when you bring something to the dungeon master and they're like, hey, I don't know about this. Like, I'm a first time dungeon master.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like we're adding maybe a little too many layers for me to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, I would appreciate it if we didn't do that.
Yeah.
And for that person to just be like, yeah, okay. And then just cast a spell and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to roll my wild magic and remember what
But
it was.
you know
it's
what
like,
happens here, right?
It's like, you know what happens here? It's like, no, because we said you weren't doing
Yeah,
it. And then they
man.
just fall unconscious. And in the middle of somebody else's character
like
moment,
a really serious moment.
to try and sap away from them and bring the attention to you.
I know.
Oh,
like,
man.
I feel
Main
like
character, though.
Oh my God, 100%. Like, this is, I think, a new DM's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And like, yes, of course, this is a horror story, and that you could argue that there's some horror stories that are far more egregious than this.
Way more
However,
egregious, but
I think this actually, if you factor everything in, the fact that Mel knew that OP was a new DM, the fact that they were unsure about bringing them in, they had talked to them multiple times.
Almost got peer pressured into inviting them in.
Yeah, and then to be like, you know what happens, right? And then completely taking it away. I think that is just so disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is, I get like more experienced players, like when it comes to just maybe like vanilla 5e or something like that, or just like real basic rules, like it might not be super exciting for you, but it's like, just don't play at that table.
Yeah.
But don't go into that table with somebody who's just trying to put their feet on the ground of DMing and then being like trying to add like all these different things in and them saying no and then you still doing it anyway. It's just like, respect your dungeon master. And you're not dungeon mastering.
Yeah. Like, if you know what, you can do that as the DM.
Yeah, if you want to add those things into the game as the dungeon master, go for it. But the thing is, you're not dungeon mastering, and you asked, and they said no, and then you still did it to try and take away from somebody else's moment because what? The attention wasn't what on you for like 2 seconds. God. You are a narcissist, my friend.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel so terrible for the OP. I felt completely and utterly powerless and confused on how to handle this. I promise you, this, at least for me, this would have been my worst fucking nightmare as a new DM. And the thing is, like, it's so easy to be like, you could just say no, but like, and I know that is the sometimes the advice that we give is it's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. But when someone just runs away with it, it's like a snowball, right? How do you deal with it at the bottom of the hill when the snowball's already so big?
It's now like the size of a boulder.
Yeah. Like it's so unfair.
And this is a PSA to all my dungeon masters. If you want new or very low experienced players at your table, that's fine.
Yeah.
If somebody tries to peer pressure you, stick to your guns.
Yeah.
You do not need to invite people if you do not want them.
Yeah.
Because you as a dungeon master, hey, we've got a shortage of dungeon masters out here. Everyone wants to be a player. Nobody wants to be a dungeon master. Let's stop making new dungeon masters' lives difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to scare off all these new dungeon masters. And Mel, this person here...
The fact that Mel was experienced as well.
And then basically just gone against exactly what the dungeon master asked them. It's just like, of course we don't have dungeon masters because people like this.
Yeah,
if you don't
off.
want experienced people at your table for the first time, that is your call, and you don't need to do anything that anyone else tells you.
Absolutely.
You don't want experienced players at your table the first time. That's fine.
That's so fine.
That is so fine.
Oh my gosh, that is so fine and so valid and so understandable.
And there's some people out there who are like, I probably want an experienced player because they might be able to like help me. Valid. That's up to you. But if somebody is a new dungeon master and they're dungeon mastering for the first time and they're telling you that and they're like, I don't want like experienced players, and then you're like, oh, I've got an experienced friend and I'd really like them to join. Shut up. It's not about you.
Yeah. And like the thing is, I don't even necessarily put the onus on Sam here, right? Sam probably didn't know how much of a fucking nightmare that was going to be.
I mean, I would still listen to my dungeon master.
Same. So would I. The thing is, I understand asking. I understand being like, oh, I have a friend, and oh, like I can vouch for them.
They're more experienced and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I'd love to play with them, but it's okay if not. Like to be honest, I think asking questions is fine.
Yeah, but if OP says no,
then respect it.
That's where it stays.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, but like, yeah, and then it's like the onus isn't on Sam. The problem here is, hey, I wanna introduce this. I want to introduce this homebrew mechanic into our game. Hey, I'm a new dungeon master. I don't feel okay with that. Oh, okay. I do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I do it anyway, and I do it for literally no other reason than to get the attention back onto me.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Up.
That is main character syndrome.
Go and write a book. Go and play Baldur's Gate.
I feel so bad for OP.
Same.
I really have so much sympathy for new DMs who have to deal with bullshit like this. And the thing is,
like, this is like it's bullshit.
This is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
This is bullshit.
There's no need for this to be in the game. It's bullshit.
Yeah. And like, as a DM, yes, you're going to be blindsided. Yes, there's going to be things that happen that you don't know how to do. And there's going to be moments as a DM, you're going to be confused. That's part of the course. But I don't believe part of the course is feeling powerless. I don't think that should ever be part of the course.
It's like there's one thing that you are in charge of as the dungeon master, and it's the rules of the game.
Yeah.
It's like you are the one that runs the game.
Yeah.
Like the rules need to be what you are comfortable running because you are the dungeon master who's supposed to make rulings.
Yeah.
And when you make rulings and then those rulings are overturned by people because they want like the spotlight on them, it's just like you feel powerless.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd have been like, hey, you fall unconscious. Hey, by the way, can you just leave the Discord call because you're not part of the game anymore?
And you know what? It's one of those things. It's kind of akin to, when you have that character that likes to steal and is like steals from like the king, for example, and they constantly do things to get in trouble, and then they get put in prison, and then it's like now the whole game has to focus and revolve around
getting you out of prison.
And it's the same thing here. Yeah. Now this moment that was like what
an important character moment for somebody else,
a one-on-one deep PC conversation. Now they have to stop and deal with this person who's rolling death saves.
Yeah, like, and of course they're going to turn to that because that's important.
Yeah.
But it's like, that shouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah.
Like, what's... I bet you the spell was fucking completely pointless to be cast as well.
Part of me... This is me not giving them the benefit of the doubt.
But they don't fucking deserve it.
Part of me can't help but feel like OP says, they lied about rolls, they argued over things. Part of me can't help but wonder,
it wasn't a 100.
Did they roll a 100?
No. hey, no. Hey, let me tell you, they didn't. Big fucking surprise, wasn't a 100.
The thing is, even if they did roll a 100, they've made themselves so untrustworthy. Yeah. I'm like, did you?
No, you didn't. And it's like, even if you did, that wasn't supposed to be in the game. The DM said that like that's not the thing that happens on a 100. So you took the moment away from you when there was two PCs having a really deep conversation to cast a spell, to then lie about the number that you rolled, to then when it did land on that number, which it didn't, you then fall unconscious because I'm making death saves. Oh my god, everybody look at me.
Boring.
Hey, fuck off.
Yeah,
no one cares.
Boring. Oh gosh,
that is so annoying.
OP, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And every DM out there who has had something like this happen, where your hand's kind of been forced in a way that isn't just improv, right? Because there is a big difference. Like, man, I'm sorry.
Hey, do you want to know what? You don't need to kick him out there and then, but you can just ask him to leave the call. Hey, you can just ask him to leave the table for the day. Like, because you're disrespecting me and my game that I'm running for all of us, that I've planned for all of us. You've come to me and I've said no for a reason. I didn't just say no because, do you know what I mean? If I just said no because I didn't want it and like I decided no, then maybe, but it's like, you decided no because you're a new dungeon master who doesn't want to deal with something that they don't maybe understand how to deal with, and then people still do it. Ask them to leave for the day. Yeah. It's just like, you're clearly not in the right headspace. Yeah. You can just leave.
Totally. I'm sorry, OP. I'm sorry. And all of our new DMs out there, I'm sorry.
All the new DMs out there, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Stand up for yourself.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Right, let's end on a wholesome.
Yeah.
Let's on a wholesome. So this is a wholesome story sent in. Oh no! This is a Reddit post. This is a Reddit post. This is a Reddit post.
Let's go.
and it is a really, really wonderful one.
Oh, let's go.
It's different. It's different to what I would normally put in. You'll see.
That's all right.
The title is A Toast to You All and to My Friends. It's my 1-year anniversary for both my Reddit account and my D&D group, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the GMs and players out here. Good job. GMs, thank you for your work. Thank you for sharing your dreams, passions, pain, love, and everything you pour into your games. It shows. Each game, no matter how combat focused or roleplay heavy, shows your heart and soul. Your emotions and dedication is set into continents, queens, commoners, and nameless passers-by on the road. Even if you don't have players, even if it's just a Google document or an idea rattling around in your head, waiting for someone to step in and breathe life into it, you are incredible. Humanity's oldest pastimes is stories, not violence. Stories make us human. Every weekend or month or bi-monthly, you sit at that table, turn your camera on, open the front door or cram into a public library. You are teaching what it means to be human. Please keep creating. Please tell your stories. I promise they will be remembered. Players, thank you for waking sleep stories. Thank you for listening, for receiving and giving back. We see echoes of you in every stoic, fearful, hopeful, tragic character that enters the stage. You create and you walk in a world full of imagination and do things that none of us, in all of our late night planning and note, thought was possible. You are our meaning. We create these stories to see you laugh and cry and rage and feel. What good is a story if not shared? Thank you for giving space, love, and energy to the creations that stayed hidden for months or even years. Thank you for adding your own brushstrokes to masterpieces. Thank you for being wonderful, imperfect, brave, and human. Never stop sharing. You are loved. Thank you, E. This once was all for you, and though you're a retired adventurer, you are always on my mind. Walk on in peace, Dragon Lady. Thank you, Elle, for teaching me about all shades of grey, pun intended. Your ever-twisting moral compass delights me every time. Your humour and wit are unrivaled. Thank you, P, for your ever-present smile, be it around the fire or in battle, and may your fearsome grin shine forever, and your shield arm stay strong. Thank you, F, for understanding, for letting every nuance of every scene sink into you and peering into cracks others forget. I've loved every year of our 4 together. Thank you, M, for showing us what it truly means to feel, for letting every emotion and nuance roll through you and bringing me to tears and uproarious laughter. May your empathy and heart guide you to peace, sweet cleric. Thank you, B, for being singular. You always understand what I mean before I can say it, and your designs and schemes never fail to catch my imagination. I am proud to call you a brother in nerdy imaginary arms. I love you guys. You once pulled me from a lonely end, because after all, who else would tell your stories? Emmy, your grateful GM. Man.
Do we need to say anything? I'm really crying.
I don't think so. I think
God, it's just I just love this game. Like, I think when you get it, and these people get it.
Yeah.
And it's just like this game can pull people out of slumps, it can pull people from the brink, it can just be what you need on a weekly basis. Like, your job has been rubbish, you're having trouble at home, but you get to sit at that table and roll a bunch of dice with your friends and create stories and be maybe who you can't be in real life. And we make friendships and we make memories that you will literally remember until the day you die.
Yeah.
Because it was just a bit of fun with your mates. And I just, my passion for TTRPGs has just grown stronger and stronger and stronger since we started this podcast because of things like this.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I love that other people feel the same way I do.
Yeah, same.
Because like if the passion that I feel and the love that I feel and the memories that I create, if anyone can feel that, oh my God.
Yeah, what a beautiful love letter to D&D.
To TTRPGs.
Like, I think what a beautiful love letter to the DMs, to the players. Like,
I feel like the things that they said about the players, like, man, I don't know, just like I feel that so hard. Like you all always say to me, like, man, you're such a great DM, you tell such a great story, and I'm only able to tell that story because you're so invested and because you buy so far into what I have to like give to you, and you make it your own, and like you give me the ammunition to make these stories. And I agree. I love every single one of my players and what they do for the game that we play, and I feel like you guys don't give yourself enough credit because you deserve it.
I think us as a group,
Yeah.
I think all of us together, you know, we flourish because you flourish, because we flourish because you flourish.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sure that you feel the same way about your table and your DM. And you know, I think what a beautiful sentiment.
Unbelievable.
Even if you don't have players, even if it's just a Google Doc or an idea in your head, it's waiting for someone to step in.
Yeah.
And I completely agree.
100%.
Like, and you know what they say about the players. Like, thank you for adding your own brushstrokes to masterpieces. I completely agree.
Couldn't agree more.
This game is great because of
It's a
our
collaboration.
friends and the collaboration. And you know, this harks back to what we were saying in the earlier one. People who are willing to really sacrifice things for the people they love in game. And I think being able to recognize all of these, you know, personal thank yous at the end, they're so specific. Everyone fills such a niche, nuanced piece in a story, and that's what makes storytelling great. That's why it's great, because everyone is so different. And this is why we do things like this, and this is why the podcast is important, because people who send in these horror stories, the first one, this person who was just ruining everyone else's time to the point where they can't even play a game they love, and play the final session. Like, it's important to say out loud that you should be having an experience like this.
You should be having, whether it's epic, whether it's just funny, whether it's sad, whether it's tragic, whether it's just like full of mystery and adventure, you should be having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget, because we can't forget, like all these horror stories that we read and stuff like that, they're real. Like, they are real. They happen. But at the same time, like, this is what you should be getting.
Yeah.
If this is what you want, this is what you should be getting. And if you're sat at a table and somebody's making your game bad, if somebody's ruining your experience, just know that this is what you should be having. So don't let them do it. Kick them out. Tell them to stop. If they don't, they can leave. This is what we want from TTRPGs. We're telling a story together. We're telling a story in a fantasy world where we can forget everything about all the stuff that's going on in our lives, and we can have a good time with our friends.
And this is why it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, that there's, you know, there'll be people who say, well, it's just a game. What's the big deal? What's the issue? And it's like, this is the issue. This is the big deal. And it doesn't have to be this, by the way.
It doesn't have to be this.
It doesn't have to be this. It can be whatever you want it to be. But the fact that you have the opportunity to find this in the game is why it's so special.
100%.
Like,
and I just think, like, whether you know, write epic tales, whether you tell epic stories, whether you just run through dungeons of goblins to get loot, it's just like, do you look forward to it every week when you sat at work, or when you sat with your in-laws doing stuff that you don't want to do? Do you think about D&D and get happy? Do you think about, like, Wednesday or Thursday, whenever you play that day of the week that you get to play? Do you look forward to it? That's what matters.
yeah. And
That's what matters.
Honestly, Emmy, the OP who posted this, I completely echo their sentiment. Please keep creating.
Keep creating.
Please keep creating.
If you've
and
got that story in your head,
yeah,
if you've written it down in that Google Doc, give it a go.
Yeah.
Do it, right? Just play out that adventure.
The amount of self-fulfillment you can get from this game, and that is available, and honestly, the amount of personal growth, the amount of catharsis that you can get from this game, if you want it, is why it's so special.
I agree.
Because the thing is, it's not a game. It's all from within you, right? Your story's from within you, based on things you feel and you've experienced. Our characters are us. They're parts of us in different ways, and that's why it's so good, and that's why you can get all these things out of it. And that's why D&D will be a game. The people who are in it, listen, if you're in D&D, you're in D&D.
Yeah,
that's why it's a lifelong hobby.
Like, you'll probably never leave.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the rules set can change. Yeah, you can smite twice in a turn. Yeah, sneak attack can't crit. Yeah, like things change and stuff like that. As we're like passing from 5e to 1 D&D, doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, the stories don't change.
Yeah.
And that's why I play D&D.
Yeah.
I play D&D because I just love telling stories.
100%.
I love telling stories, and you guys just getting your hands all over it and making it what you believe and taking out of my game what you want to see. I just love that.
Yeah.
I just love that, and that'll never change.
And just know, DMs, players, anyone who's played D&D. Oh. Uh-oh. He's stuck in the wire.
Uh-oh. Bully. We're okay. Oh,
sorry, the camera probably moved.
No, it's okay. It's still in a good spot, I can see.
Anyone who has been through this and has had a bad experience, please do not let one bad experience stop you. If you have a genuine interest in TTRPGs, please continue to try. Please, you will find your table. I promise you, your table is out there waiting for you.
It is.
And you can have these experiences. And please, I know it's so easy. And there's so many times where I hear your horror stories and I'm like, I would have been noped out. I would have never tried again. But please do, because you can find this if you want to.
You can. I promise you.
What a beautiful post.
What a beautiful
post.
I love that.
Yep.
I just... He's going to cough all over me, I can tell. Man. I just love it. And it's, it's exactly what I want it to be for me. And I just hope that other people can find that in it as well. Because I understand that, like, some people have gone through... Look, we read out a lot of horror stories. I understand that people have gone through rough times with it. But it will and can be what you want eventually. I promise you. Just got to find that table.
And if, you know what? You are so valid if you don't want this out of it as well, by the way. If you just want to turn up and play your game with your friends and just forget about your life, that is so valid and so okay.
It's the forgetting.
Yeah.
It's the, I've got this going on in my life. Doesn't matter for today. I'm going to go play D&D with my mates.
Yeah.
And I just love that. And, like... The world is lonely right now, like for a lot of people, and just having that human interaction once a week, twice a week, monthly, whatever it is, like that you get to look forward to and you get to excited about and you get to talk to people about. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about the human interaction of it.
Yeah. And please remember, we play games to have fun. And to enjoy them. And if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it, then you have every right to protect your own peace in that way and do whatever you need to do to get to that point again.
100%.
What a good one to end on, huh?
Well, that's the end of it. I think my dog's licking himself.
Oh. Hey. What's he doing? He's just stood there. Oh, he's all right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
It was brilliant to see you all again. Check out our merch, Patreon down in the description. Sorry, what was saying that? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your passion with us.
Indeed.
Thank you for being here every week. I'm all sentimental now. I need to go and feed my dog.
You want a hug?
After, we'll hug. We'll hug after.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
He's thinking about
it.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Thursday. Bye.
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hoobs.
Ariel.
Tula.
Runarian.
Arkham Labs Cosplay.
Maddie.
Pepsi Woman.
Luna.
Teddy Saurus.
Caspian.
Ryan the Giant 111.
J-Spot.
Ultrafail.
Dallin M.
Sleepy.
Joe Dragonlord 2.
Alistar.
Lawkeeper Society.
Ricky B.
Danny Phantom.
Catherine.
Faustskin.
Azuriel.
Panda Queen Plays.
Xylo Boy.
Lucas Iapetus.
Luna River.
Ruined Rivers. Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.